Welcome, everybody. Today we have a live stream talk number 12. Today we have a live stream talk number 12. Okay, I can hear myself 3 times, so seems like you will hear everything repeated as well.
Mariana, aren't you going to take on Facebook? Mariana,
Wait.
aren't you going to take on Facebook?
Okay, let's see about now. Okay, great. Sorry about the little technical difficulties here, checking all the social media are running, which looks like they are. Anyways, back to our topic. Today, we are here with our new competition, as Inspirally has started a new year, the 8th annual, just started literally 3 weeks ago, so you can start submitting your projects. And the new competition for this year is going to be Edu Project Croatia, or as we now have a new name for it, MIRIS Garden. It will be a development project that will be clearly built in a few years, we hope, and the students have a chance to participate in the final designs and how the buildings and the whole project is going to look like. So I would like to show you a little video what this competition is going to be about. Let's see it. So I hope you like it and you are as excited as I am to tell you or to hear a little bit more about what this project is looking like at this moment, as it already has started at the semesters at many universities around the world to be prepared, so that the deadline of this competition is February 14th. It is a little bit shorter than the Inspirally Awards, which lasts until July 14th. As usual, nothing has changed. So let me introduce who we have here today. So with me today, we have 3 representatives of the development project. First one is Martin Dudashko. He is the lead architect. He is a Slovak architect realizing projects in Australia, Slovakia, and Czech Republic. And he's also the chairman of the category of architecture at Inspirally Awards. He is the leading architect of the MIRIS Garden, and you will get to have a chance to ask him all your questions. Next here with me is David Pehel. He is one of the owners and the developer representative. Next to him is also Gordan Gasic, who is one of the owners as well, and he's representing the development team too. And then from the team of Inspirally, as usual, we have Karel Smejkal here, the president of Inspirally Awards. And you probably have already seen me. My name is Mariana Vahalova, and I'm the president of Inspirally Education, and I will be your host for today. So this is our stellar guest list, and on the Zoom here with us we also have several students and professors who are participating on the competition already and have been for several years with us, which we will be really happy to hear later if they have any questions. So welcome everybody, thank you for joining us at the live stream talk number 12 about MIRIS Garden. Karel, I would like to pass the word to you now to tell us a little bit more about the project.
Thank you, Mariana. Hello, everybody. I'm really proud that we have another competition, and in this case, it's something really unique. So I would like to thanks to our developers, our guests, that they found time to be today with us. And I would like to say at the beginning that we have already 8th annual, and it means something, yeah, because we are now doing nice tradition, and it's almost 5 topic in our real competitions. And this way, it's something special because it's dedicated to education and to real development. Let me to show you at the beginning our website. I will share the screen. And because I would like to explain where you can find all the things about this unique competition. As you can see here on the main screen, in the middle is the Inspire Competition Croatia, how we call this project. And this name is MIRIS Garden. Maybe our developers will explain more why this name was selected. And here, as you can see, we have here all the materials you need for your competition, and the main focus should be on documentation for download. And we made a decision that whenever we change or we add something what can help students or their supervisors to better understand what is going to happen on the area of Stary Grad, it will be each time notice here with the date and with the red color. So here you can see that we already published some updates created by our leading architect, Martin Dudashko. What I would like to highlight here is our prices, because this competition is divided into 2 parts. One part is about the design solution. It means that you choose one of 6 topics, for example, villas, or you can do marina or hotel, and you can win in this focus on this recreation resort. However, because still we are all academics and you are students at the university, you can choose another idea and you can focus on innovative solution. So it means that you can show your own way how to do this resort without any barriers, without any obstacles. You can use green architecture. You can use let's say space technology, everything what you want, and you can be awarded for a great idea and you can win the prize. So that's something what I really like, because this project is not only about the real buildings, but it's about showing the way how the future architecture could look like. Another thing what I would like to highlight is our 3D map, which you can visit the area. But today or tomorrow we are going to launch a 3D map for downloading for your 3D visualizations. We are working on that with Lumion company, and it's really close to be ready for downloading. And of course, we will put it in documentation for download. Here, as you can see, next to the video, is a formula where you can place the questions, and our developers, our leading architect, or our team in Sprole, we will answer you as soon as possible, and then we will put it on frequent asked question, which is here. That's really important, because we would like to do everything really clear and help as much we can. Because now I would like to talk about the edu part of the Project Croatia competition. And this edu, it means that we already involve our technology consultants, the leading companies who are cooperating and supporting us. And here you can see the technologies, the technicians and supervisor, they can help you whenever you need. You can sort them by the filters, and whenever you choose the company and the type of product, you can immediately download their BIM, their libraries, or you can ask them directly by the formula. This is the new idea of our approach of Inspire Education and Inspire Awards, because we want to connect you with a specialist who can lead you and show you how to best use their technologies and their products And now it's not only about your teachers, but you can ask a lot of advisors thanks to our community. I think that this theoretical path was enough for the beginning. I will go back to a screen, and because I'm happy that we have here both developers, I would like to ask them why or what is behind this project, why you decided to create such a big or huge project. It's my first question, and the second one, why Inspirally? Why we meet and we decided to cooperate together?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Since you have seen the photos, we don't have to introduce who's who, but for those who haven't, my name is Gordon and
my name is David.
We are glad to welcome you here on this online meeting, and we are pleased that you are participating. I believe that most of you that you are now online are participating in this this year's Inspirally Awards competition. I want to thank Inspirally for organizing this with us, because we believe that Inspirally Awards is doing a great thing in the world, that they are actually giving the opportunity to young architects, such all of you, to leave the footprint in the world, on Earth, by creating real projects. We have seen the project of Beirut that has just finished a couple of weeks or months ago, and I must say that we were amazed how detailed the projects were. It's truly amazing what you do. Now, when we move to the questions that Karel asked about the project in Croatia, I will say a few words about Croatia. I believe that you, now that you have read all the details and about the composition, you know where Croatia is, but I'll just repeat it shortly. Croatia is a South European country on the coast of Adriatic Sea. It's in the European Union, so and a lot of people come to Croatia for their holiday. When we move to more detailed location, to Zadar and Zadar County, it's becoming more and more popular among European and worldwide travelers for their summer holiday, and we see huge potential in this area. And then if we go level down to Starigrad, the city where the project is, it's located near two natural parks, actually one natural park and one park of nature. It's there are basically two natural parks, but it's just the terminology in Croatia. So, and firstly, when we came to this site a couple of years ago, we were looking at this beautiful part, which was all green, and the scent was everywhere in the air because of all the flowers and all the herbs that are growing there. So when we go back to the name MIRIS garden, in Croatian MIRIS means scent, and also in Latin it means amazing. So for us it was way to go, because we're actually incorporating those two ideas in one name. And the garden is because we want to preserve the nature as much as we can. So basically what we are aiming to do in this part is to develop a brand new part of the city. It's a little bit on the outskirts of Starigrad and the center of the town. So we have this nice big plot where's all this greenery, and only two houses right now standing. So there is little or basically none development right now, which gives us a perfect opportunity to plan everything by modern standards, and the way that the buildings there are built beforehand, with the idea how it should look. so we can preserve the nature. As I said, that's number one. Second is to give its inhabitants a nice way of living by predicting what and how they would use the area. And besides being it mainly Croatia being mainly a summer country for foreigners, we also want to build something that will be inhabited throughout the year. So even though we have their hotel and seacoast villas and all of these amenities that go with summer holidays, we also want to build a place where people can live throughout the year. And that's why some of these amenities, let's say, are additional to what regular resorts offer their guests.
Just in the season.
Yeah, just not in the season. We want to make it a year-round place to go. Also for tourists, because we want to do their like sport facility and some sauna, some wellness, and all such things that people can use even in the winter, because it's near Paklenica National Park, which is mostly visited outside of summer season, because in summer and in the mountains it can be sometimes too hot. So people come either in spring or in autumn. So all of those ideas we want to incorporate in MIRIS Garden Resort. Also, now moving to back to you, I want to thank you again all for the participation. We are looking forward your ideas. I truly believe that it will be something that we cannot even imagine right now. There are some ideas that we can imagine, but most of those ideas are basically the projection of our background. And since this is worldwide competition, I believe that all of your backgrounds and all of your experience that you have throughout your life will show in your ideas. So thank you again. Thank you, Karel and Mariana. And now I will give word to Martin Dudashko, our lead architect.
Wonderful. Thank you, gentlemen. And Martin, can you unmute yourself and please lead us through the master plans and see what there is? Martin, can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll start again. Thanks, Gordon. Thanks, Mariana. So let's start with the master plan drawing. I'd like to start with that because there was a lot of confusion in terms of what revision you should use. So it's very important you use the latest one and the current issue, which is Master Plan Revision 8. Can we show that on the screen? Anyway, you will recognize that Master Plan, that there is a big red note in the top left corner. Why we put it there? Because it says that all the shapes of the proposed buildings shown in the master plan, including marina and public beaches, are indicative only. People were asking a lot of questions if they have to stick to those shapes of the buildings in the master plan. So the answer is simple: no, you don't have to. This is really only just to help you to understand what we're trying to achieve and to understand the scale of the development. And at the end, to be able to decide what kind of building from this master plan you want to do in the submission. Any chance to see that or not? Okay.
Let's see, the direction might have some technical problems, but let's see if we can have the master plan shown. Wonderful.
Again, just write it down for all of you. It's revision 8 and it's date 29 of September 2022. So on this master plan, actually, there's a lot of buildings to choose from for your competition. You certainly have to do at least one building, but you can do more or even all of them. It's up to you. And once you decide actually what building or which buildings you want to do, the next step would be to have a look in the master plan zoning. So then you find out actually where your building belongs to, what zone, and then you will be able to find all the regulations and requirements for that building. So actually it's a combination of graphics and text, the brief, which is in text form. That should cover all the questions, all the basics. When you read the brief, it's actually very kind of clear what you can do and what you can't do. And this is only competition about concept. So we are looking for something new, something fresh, and you don't have to be caught up in kind of details and technical issues. Because there was somebody asking about building standards and building codes, etc. So what I'm trying to say is, if you, for example, choose to design the hotel, and for example, we will need to add some fire exits, that's fine. This is our job later on. So just don't get focused on those kind of things. Just focus on design of the building. So that would be zoning. And then there is another drawing which is showing actually site regulations. And it's
maybe Martin.
Can you see that?
Now there is on the screen the picture of the zoning. If you can maybe focus a little bit on that, because then our staff will prepare the last part.
Okay, so we have 7 or 8 zones. Actually, the name of the zone is always at the top left corner, and you can actually find out what's supposed to be in that zone. So, for example, zone 1 is meant to be for apartment buildings. It says it should be 4 stories in height, which means it's ground level plus 3 levels of residential above. And that is actually clearly demonstrated in the graphics in the site regulations. So if anybody has some questions in terms of building heights, it's all actually fairly clearly demonstrated on that section. And it goes on like this. Zone 3 is, for example, hotel. Zone 4 is a commercial center. Zone 5, which is yellow one, is for villas, 1-story villas. And then you get zone 6, which is for marina, and zone 7, which is for, we call it, I think, coastal zone. I should say that zone 6 and 7 should be as one submission. It should be designed as a whole. This is actually quite important. And zone 8, which is camp, this is not part of the design competition. You can simply ignore that. So when you read the brief, you will find out all the information about regulations and requirements, and all the specifics about site setbacks, site coverage ratio, or building heights, etc. So this is kind of briefly explained what you should do when you decide to design this. So perhaps next we can answer some questions.
Thank you, Martin. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Yes, and I see we have many people on the Zoom, and I hope you have your questions ready, and we are really looking forward to hearing them. But I would start with a little warm-up round with some questions that were already submitted previously. I think you already answered some of them, Martin, but maybe we can start with this one. Anna Kubetsia is asking, as we understood, in other zones, a blue rectangle in front of the villas means a pool. And we're wondering if pools are required in the building zones as well.
Okay, the answer is yes. So apartment buildings should have on swimming pool. And it's up to you if it's going to be one building, one pool, or you can actually do some shared swimming pools for 2 buildings or 3 buildings. We are kind of open to that idea, but certainly we do need some swimming pools.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Anything, Gordon or David, you want to add?
No,
No.
I think perfect.
Okay, maybe you can raise the hand if you would like to add something to the questions. Otherwise, I'll just be looking at you nodding that everything's okay. Wonderful. Okay, next one is about parking. As stated in the brief, the buildings should have 3 to 4 floors. And we were wondering if parking is including in this amount or if plus 1 floor is added for parking.
Yeah, so this is explained really well on the side regulations drawings. You can see the section and where the car parking is and how it works. However, 3 or 4 floors is important, but what is more important is building height limit. And this is what you have to stick to. So you need to be able to design a building underneath of the high limit, which varies obviously for each zone. And what is also important is that actually that high limit in Croatia on that side is measured from the finished floor level, not from the existing ground, but from the finished floor level. Again, it's explained in the side regulations drawing. It's very simple and graphic.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll go for one more question and then maybe ask if somebody from our visitors here on the Zoom have a question. So on the existing plot of land, the so-called layout was given on the master plan, in which is given the location the building will be in relation to that plot of land. And we were wondering if we can change this or if everything must remain exactly in the same place.
Again, it doesn't have to stay in the same place as far as you comply with regulations, meaning the setbacks, side setbacks, street setback, side coverage ratio, etc. So you can place the building anywhere you want. You just have to comply with regulations.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So now is the time. If somebody from the audience would like to raise a question, you can just wave at me. You can raise the question, raise the hand on using the reactions in the Zoom. And don't be shy. We want to hear what you are here for. If you have any questions, let us know. Let's see. Who's going to be the first brave one? We have about 40 people on this Zoom. So let's see if somebody gathers. Karel, do you want to call somebody? You're really great with this. You usually call the person and they have a question.
Definitely. I would like to ask Sofia because I see you. Sofia, where are you from? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
I'm Lebanese and Armenian, but I'm talking to you now from Canada, from Montreal. So I don't have a specific question, but I just wanted to make sure that the streetscape and the landscape should be considered also in the competition.
Yeah, the landscape is very important part of it because obviously we are on the steep side. So the way how you deal with placing the buildings on the current, land.
Is there public spaces, gardens, parks, something to be planned,
public
to be designed also?
So, for example, the biggest public space is actually coastal zone and the marina. It's all for public. Okay. And there's going to be a lot of landscapes. We are free to design actually beaches, elevated walkways, obviously some amenities to it. And in the marina section, it would be nice to have some restaurants, cafes, etc. And what is important in terms of landscape in yellow zone, which is zone number, let's see, number 5, which is yellow one, it's only for villas. And there's one important thing about those villas. Those villas have to be on pilots. They can't be placed directly on the land. They have to be elevated above ground. And to actually preserve the landscape.
Yeah, and each villa should have a private garden, and this private garden should be landscaped or not.
There will be no kind of fences between those villas. Yeah, so it's going to be just open space, and the space between those villas should be landscape is important in that sense that you should provide some privacy for those people.
Okay, there is no physical barrier between these villas, but it should be some kind of green fence, let's say.
It doesn't have to be the fence. We would like to avoid fences. It has to look natural, kind of free. Open.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. Okay, we can create.
If you are sitting in this villa, you don't want to see your neighbors, on the balcony.
Yeah.
Make sure that actually this is somehow treated in the landscape.
Okay, good. This is all what I have to say. Thank you.
No
Thank you for your question. Thank you for your courage.
All one of those.
Gael, do you want to choose one more person?
Yeah, I think that I will have to have because they are shy.
Nice.
we need to open discussion, yeah? So what about you, Ernest? Are you there? Can you switch on your camera?
Karel, thank you for choosing me again.
Yeah, he's a teacher.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment because I think, in fact, Inspirelli is growing, and you can see it from the last time we had a Zoom call to this time, which has been like a few months, and you see how the community around the world is growing from Canada to every place around the world. And I think congratulations to the investors that understood the potential of Inspirelli. I must say, I was amazed from the Lebanon project and from the Beirut port competition, which the level of depth and the level of analysis and the level of and the product that was as a final product was at such a professional level that it's hard to find this anymore so easy in the world. I mean, even if you find very high rated paid fees for the competition where the fee is really high and the jury is really professional. So I think in this regard, Inspirelli is going to the next level, and I'm very happy for it. And I think Inspirelli education is also a tool and a possibility for students around the world, especially from poorer countries, where they can have an opportunity to ask questions, to find expertise among high-level professionals that are behind the companies that are supporting Inspirelli. So I think this is really amazing. So thanks, Karel, and thanks the team for Mariana and the team for making this possible. And we as UMT, as Metropolitan Tirana University, we will be part of it. From Albania, basically, because we are very near to Croatia. So it's an amazing coastline, and I think there will be a lot of solutions. The problem with this coastline is that it is so sensitive, it is so beautiful, it is green, and it is in a way should be protected. And the best way to protect the coastline, not to do the errors that have been done in Montenegro and Albania, is to have a competition. Why? Because through a competition, you can have various solutions. You can have dozens and hundreds of solutions, and you can look at them and say, look, this is the way to do it, because this is the way to protect the nature. This is the way to maximize, let's say, the sea view. This is the way to what, as the investor said, developer said, how to have a living, 1 year long living site. So not only a summer, say camping or a summer residence that otherwise it's dead in the winter. So the best way is the competition. It's like you have really dozens of ideas. So congratulations also to the developers, and I'm sure that this will be a fantastic project. Sorry if I talk too much, Karen. So you get
good.
the risk.
Thank you.
You get the risk if I
Thank
talk.
you, Ernest. We're glad that your
Thank you.
university is a part of it again.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing it. And I see that Nina has her hand raised. Would you like to come on screen and unmute yourself? Nina, are you there? Oh, yes.
Yeah, sure. Hi.
Welcome.
Just turn on the camera. Hi there.
Perfect.
Well, first of all, thank you all for this opportunity to take part in this competition. I think it's really interesting, and me and my team from my university decided to take part in it. And we actually had quite a few questions. So if you have some time, maybe we'll discuss them, please.
Yes, go for it.
First question we had was about the zones. Basically, you already explained them, and we got that we have the zone for villas, some zones for 2 or 3 story, 3 or 4 story buildings. And we're just interested in if we decide to make all of the villas, for example, do we have to do each of them individual, like design them separately, or do we have to have some sort of, for example, those 3 types that were mentioned according to the square meters and stuff, or do they all have to be separate?
Well, ideally, it should be one design and 3 types and different sizes, 120, 150, and 200 square meters. What is important actually to realize that we don't know how many of which types we will sell in the future. So we need to be flexible in that sense. Yeah, just one design and 3 types. I think that's the best answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So does it apply to?
I realized one thing. There are some boundaries actually on between the villas, yeah, and those boundaries are adjustable. You don't have to stick to them. Yeah, you have to stick to the zone boundaries or the roads. But the boundaries between our villas are flexible. Does it make sense?
Sure.
It really depends on the size of units you will put together, villas next to each other. As I said before, it's very steep, so you need to be very careful how you deal with the levels, etc., and the high limit. There is no high limit in terms of meters, but if there is a limit, it has to be just 1-story building. And ignore the picture. We have like 2 forms like this, but it could be 3 forms like that. Narrow, tall. It's entirely up to you. But what's important is to be able to get to the villa with your own car. Yeah, park your car and go to the building.
Mm-hmm.
And views.
Yeah, thank you. One more question about the villas. We were interested in what exactly do you mean in prefabricated, as it all has to be that technical, or does it mean that just the basic standards of the prefabricated buildings?
Well, the idea is that we should be able somehow to combine those types. Like, for example, if you have 1-bedder and you want to make it 2-bedder, it's the same building. You just add 1 module, in a sense, one room. Mm-hmm. And prefabricated makes sense because it's on pilots. So it's actually the most easiest way how to construct it. So it's going to be steel frame building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Actually, we would like to know if the same principle goes to all the other zones as well. For example,
no. Only for villas. Only villas. This is specialty for that zone of 05. Any other zone could be actually buildings with real footings.
Yeah, I was just asking about the types of the buildings or the designs. So, for example, do all the 3-story ones have to be also the same design, or
no? That could be totally. Every building could be different. There are just some design principles, like, obviously all the living areas should have the ocean views. Ideally, all the master bedrooms, perhaps even other bedrooms, but if you can't make it, the other bedroom could face the other way. What is important to show how it works on that slope, because this is challenging. On the streetscape, the cars, the parking, swimming pools, and the building, how it's all working together. So ideally section through the road and two buildings, so we can see actually how it works.
Sure. One more question about the flat ones. Would like to know if all the flat types should be included in the building, or just whatever suits.
No, it's up to you. It's entirely up to you. There is one more kind of thing you have to respect, and that is that we can have maximum of 6 apartments in each building. No matter what kind of configuration you go for, it can be only 6.
Okay, sure. And the last question of this one is, you mentioned the villas being having to be on the pillars and stuff. Yeah. Do we have to somehow get into the consideration of the seismology or maybe geology and the construction of it, or just visual?
No, don't worry about that. This is up to us next stage. Yeah, you just come up with ideas.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
I make it easy for you.
Thank you for your questions. Karel, your hand is raised.
Yeah, I wanted to add something to Nina, yeah, because or maybe how I understood her question. She maybe asked for 3 types of designs of the villas. I think that maybe why not? Yeah, maybe David and Gordon should answer because I understand that this is a design competition, so it means that there can be a lot of designs from one student there. In case Nina won, yeah. So maybe Gordon or David, what do you think about this?
Okay, am I on screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically we don't want to limit you with the number of designs that you want to do, because if in your mind you want to create something that those villas and types of buildings will somehow talk to each other and be in one synthesis, then we don't want to limit you that you have to do this number of types of this building and this building. Basically, what we want you to do is to use your creativity to the maximum and to give you as little limitations as possible. There are some limitations that we must give you because of the zoning plan. For example, what Martin said is the number of apartments and the height of the buildings. Those are some limitations that must be there, and those are in the guide that Martin and us have prepared for you. But in case of design, we don't want to limit you at all. We want to see what you can create, and we believe that you will do a lot of things. That's why.
Perfect. Wonderful. Okay, thank you. I see Miguel's hand is raised. Would you like to ask the questions?
Good evening. My name is Miguel, and I have one simple question about the competition. About the criteria. What is the criteria for this competition?
What is the main?
This.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Carl, I think this is for you, isn't it? Well, obviously, for us architects, the criteria is the most interesting and innovative design. It suits the site and it ticks all the boxes for us, which are defined in the brief. So it's fairly simple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Anything maybe, David, you are looking for from the developer's point of view? What will be interesting for you?
Good, so it's important to think about it, that it have to make some sense to build it. So, looking for students' ideas that will think out of the box, because it's the sense what we want from this competition.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So as little limitations, as much of imagination and fresh ideas. Wonderful. This is definitely what we're after. Better than seeing a designed thing from like an IKEA magazine. We want to see what's in your minds, you know, what inspires young students coming from different backgrounds. And I just wanted to add to this, seeing the competition for a couple of years now. This is really important that you take what you have, being from where you are from, and use it. Don't think of what we would like to see or what would, you know, be a fit for European standards. Bring what you have and show us that. That's what we are mostly after. That's how we want to see the talents coming from different parts, because we can think of what you can think of, because we have our boxes, you have your boxes. So if you come from your background, that's really valuable to us. Okay, do we have any other questions from our Gordon?
Yes. I just want to add to what you just said, is that your background and your experience is actually the most valuable in this. Because if you want to copy something that has been made here and to do something generic, then it won't have this value that you are bringing to this competition. Because if you go to Google Earth or to photos of how Croatian resorts look like or how Croatian neighborhoods look like, then we wouldn't be, if I say it like this, then we wouldn't be having this competition. Then we can go around, see, copy, paste, and that's it. But that's not what we are trying to do, and that's not what we are trying to achieve with inspiring words.
Perfect. Yes, thank you. Okay, Aksan, do you have questions for us?
Actually, it's not a question. First of all, thank you very much to share this platform, and already this project for the fourth time, I think, we are participating with our students from Cyprus International University, and most of them are in here, and they prepared their question, I'm waiting from them to also ask their question as well. Something came to my mind actually about the users, because meanwhile during this conversation, I realized that somehow this is investment project, and specifically who is the user and what is the developer preferences. Because in one of the sentence and comments, I realized that in future, the flexibility is going to give this opportunity that how you are going to sell it. Then, specifically, my question is that at the moment, the users that you are target are whom?
Okay, Gordon or David?
Okay, very good question. Thank you. Basically, our primary target users or customers are European citizens. Basically, we are targeting and communicating towards whole Europe, to people who want to come to Croatia for some type of holiday. I'm not saying summer holiday, because of all these amenities that we want to build there. So some type of holiday. But secondary users could be people who have retired and can go there and be there throughout the year and still not miss anything important for them for living there. And tertiarily, we can talk about people from Croatia who are looking for
another level, or
another standard of living,
thinking about a resort.
And they can move there too, and we will enable them working remote, which has shown to be preferred type of working in the past few years, thanks also to Corona crisis. So there are several levels of users, of inhabitants that we want there. It's primarily a summer resort, because it's by the sea, and logically it has to be a summer resort, but we don't want to make it a ghost town outside of the main season. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much. And maybe my next question, I found a contradiction because in the sources that it was shared by the web page, I mean, there is many good sources and powerful sources related to the specialist that all the participants can communicate with them and ask their question. On the other side, I realized that to somehow we are dealing with an idea competition. So how deep the conceptual, how is the degree of this idea competition? How deep the participant must go through detail? Mr. Martin to somehow explain that, but I wanted to clarify it more if it is possible.
Yeah, look, for us, will be enough, will be sufficient if you will be able to demonstrate the principles. You don't have to go to great level of detail. It would be just too much to ask for. Yeah, just principles.
Mm-hmm. Maybe to this, we should add that there will be next year an interior competition. Maybe, Karol, do you want to say something more about this?
You mean about the interior competition, this idea?
Yes.
Yeah, we because this year or this winter term, how we call it at our university, we are doing the let's say shapes, yeah, of the buildings. But it's a really nice opportunity to go on with those types of architecture which are in the small scale, how I call it, and it's nice idea to open it again as an interior solution competition, and that should be something, or it could be something what we have no experience before, because we have in Inspirale, of course, the part dedicated to interior, but this time we would like to be more precise, yeah, because there will be exact buildings and there will be exact request how to make it, of course, from the one point of view, economic possible, and from the second point of view, to do it nice and to bring new ideas. Yeah, so this is the idea for the next year, and I think that for developers it's another way how we can teach them. Yeah, I hope that our students can show them a better solution than that is not already existing, yeah, anywhere in the world. Yeah, that's why we are cooperating together. Yeah,
exactly. Also using new technologies and trying to bring fresh, sustainable solutions as well. Maybe touches.
Mm-hmm. So, sorry for interruption, but that's why it's connected with suppliers. Yeah, we don't know which suppliers will supply this project. It's not there is no any decision. We are inviting companies being part of this and showing the newest technology, and to help students to incorporate their new technologies into that project. And then maybe in case of success on both sides, it means on the design side and on the new technology side, there will be negotiation with the developers, and maybe there will be a success story. But now it's about education. Yeah, and I think from my perspective at the university, I'm from CTU in Prague, that sometimes to have possibility to communicate with somebody from technology department, it's really good. Yeah, you can ask them, and they can help you provide with some materials, some 3D modules. So that's the idea behind. That's why it's a educational competition, not only design.
Thank you, Karol. I see there is another hand raised, Mr. Salim Aburisk. You can unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
So I was saying thank you for the invitation. It was a pleasure to participate in the previous one on Beirut port, and I would have some questions about this one in Croatia. First, can we have a little bit information about? Sorry about the screen. I'm not doing it blur, but I don't know why. Maybe we have bad connection. I don't know. So I was asking about the two plots surrounding the competition plot on the right and on the left. Can we have an idea what's in there? Any project? How is it going to be tackled, or we don't know yet? Second, can we elaborate more on the profile of the people and I know a colleague from Cyprus asked about, but I would like to know more about those people. We know they are mainly you are targeting Europeans, etc. But there are families, there are young couples, there are. If we can elaborate more a little. And I have a question about the integration of the building within their site. Let's say the hotel and the building, the apartment buildings and the commercial center are not required or are required to be, let's say, not elevated or built on ground level. Some was parking on the ground floor, and while villas are required to be slightly elevated. Is it for privacy, or does it have requirements? I don't know, for let's say preservation of the site, or because we have a little bit like a dilemma. If you raise the villa, they will have more impact on the landscape, on the scenery, on their integration. While if you integrate them, you will have more impact on the natural terrain. And can we elaborate also on this? Thank you.
Okay, who's going to answer? I'll try to answer first. Look, those villas, this is specifically, those are local regulations to comply with. This is not us. It's what locals actually want. And it only applies to the yellow zone, as I said before. So anything else could have footings. So even commercial center or the hotel. And to answer your next question, what's going to happen on the site next door on both sides? We assume that zoning will kind of continue further. Like imagine just the master plan just continuing that form. That is those zones further beyond our boundaries. So it will continue that way.
So yellow will go on yellow, and buildings will go on. Okay.
Exactly. So look, the logic is actually when you start on the top of the site, which is on the hill, you start with the high buildings. That's why there are 4-story buildings. Then you go to 3-story buildings, and then you go to villas. Commercial center is something else, but I think there is limit of 2 levels as well. Plus there is some high limit as well. And hotel, there is some specific that you can go, certain area of the footprint of the building can go to 80 meters or something like that. It's in the brief. That could be a proper hotel, you know, with a car parking underneath or next to it. We don't know. It's up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, and in terms of the clients, as you were asking about the families and so on, I think this is more question for the client.
Yes, maybe. Sorry, Martin, go on.
No, I'm finished.
Okay. Yes, I just wanted to pass the word to David or Gordon, if you want to specify or have any more specifications on the group, targeted group.
of so basically the target group will somehow copy the target group of Croatia, and that is mostly for families and couples. We don't want to make it, if I go to extreme, we don't want to make it a party place where people go and party all night long. So the primary group is families, and also some apartments will be for couples.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you for the questions. And I see we have a couple more questions. I hope we answered. Sophie, did you have another question?
Yeah, hello again. Just a question from my students from Université de Montréal. They are asking if the project should be lead-oriented.
Sorry, I missed that. Can you say again?
The project, the design should be lead. This is my question.
Design should be what? Should be lead?
Lead. So the eco-friendly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is one of the most important things. It has to be sustainable, eco-friendly, and all of those things which people care about these days. So,
but there's the certification, the lead certification that we take usually for projects that.
No. Again, this is only competition about ideas. You don't need any certification. First of all, we need to start like everybody's talking about new technologies, etc., which is nice and important, and I support that. But in the first place, we need to see that you consider just basic principles like cross ventilation, external shading, overshading, and things like this, which could solve a lot of issues, environmental issues. And then if you have some ideas about technologies, how they should be used, for example, heating the pool or whatever, just a simple scheme, and perhaps you will come up with something completely new nobody thought about. We don't need any certificates or any long reports. We just need one simple scheme explaining how it works.
Okay.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you.
I think Gordon wanted to add something.
Yes, just adding to this eco-friendliness and sustainability, maybe in your country or the area where you live, you use different technology. Every part of the world uses different technology, even though we are in
problems
in a world of internet and connectivity. Maybe you will come across some technology that is just emerging in your part of the world where you live, or you stumble on it, and then you can actually teach us that here is this technology that you could use for your project. And we'll go, okay, Eureka moment, we haven't thought about this because we use a completely different way of solution.
Yeah, for watering, electricity, and so on. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Another question we have from Radva. Would you like to come in?
Yeah, 1 second. Enable the camera. Or maybe you can just check.
Let's see if your camera will work as well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the camera to work. Okay.
Yay.
Yeah. Hello, we're students from Cyprus International University, part of Dr. Rizal's class. So in the document, you mentioned that the beach zone is public. So is the beach? Do we need to have public access to the beach, or is it going to be part of the resort, like a private beach?
In Croatia, there is no such a thing as private beach. Everything is public, so definitely access.
So there are no, there are.
So are you saying that the villas or the resort that we're going to create, there isn't going to be any constraints for the public to come in through those? Because mostly resorts.
There will be no physical fence, and obviously we won't have any direct
barriers.
path, to the villas. But there's going to be, we need to think about how you get people from, for example, commercial center, there's going to be some major car parking, how you get those people down to the marina. And they will go for camp. So there's going to be system of some kind of walkways, which will be
So
connected.
basically we have to design the infrastructure for that as well then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the one which is given on the map, we can modify it.
You can modify, you mean the marina, absolutely. That circle is just indication, what can be done. There's no need to stick to it unless you really like it, we wouldn't be offended, it's fine. But
okay.
you can come up with any shape you want. There are some rules you have to kind of accept. I think there's a setback, 20 meters towards the sea and 25 meters towards the land. And this is where you actually fit your beaches and walkways and so on.
Promenades.
I have one question. So in the marina area, there are like boats who are like parked. So will I would say like sailors, like people who are sailing in the Mediterranean can like just come and like
the way how it works, people will come to stop by for coffee or lunch. So they will come on boat, they will park there, they will go for coffee or lunch and they go home. This is not like a major marina. Yeah, this is
okay. All right, thank you very much.
Very
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Unless Gordon, you want to say something? No. So it's
okay. Thank you for the question. And we have Nina. Do you have another question? Nina, yeah.
Actually, I do have quite a few more questions.
Go on.
Basically, I just like to know. It was mentioned the pool area in the hotel on the hotel territory, and we just like to know if it has to be on the outside, like looking at the facade of the building, or just integrated into the building and like the interior pool park or something like that.
Look, again, this is entirely up to you. What we are showing is kind of more sensible and attractive way that you have outdoor swimming pool, which actually integrates in the building, but it could be anything.
Okay, we just thought that maybe as it's a resort or something, you had some preferences. That's why.
Look, it really depends on how the hotel is run, but there should be part for swimming, like at least one lane, and something for kids, they can play. And ideally, I would like to go to the pool with the views, to the ocean, but again.
So basically the mentioned pool and the water park are the same thing there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. One more question was about the height restrictions. For example, like the most interesting part was about the commercial center, as it's located on sort of a slope and it's going down with the with the terraces. So is those 11.5 meters of height from the architectural zero to the top of the building, or from the road to the top? Because if we, for example, decide to
building zero from the finished floor level. This is how they make. So that's why we have to be smart how we actually, that's why I call it terraces, because that gives you some kind of possibility of stepping it down just to comply with that limit.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
So basically, it's like, imagine you're looking at the building and there is a ground floor external, and you measure it from there, this point, and you go to the highest point of the building, but not to the top of the roof. If you go, for example, to pitched roof, that doesn't apply. It just goes to the point where the pitched roof starts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nina. Great questions. And we have Shahryar. Sorry,
Yeah.
mispronouncing your name.
Yeah, Shahriar. So I'm sorry that I'm not able to connect my camera because I left my camera in my office. I'm joining from my home. So sorry for that. So is that okay without the camera?
Of course. Go ahead.
Okay.
No problem.
So I found the project, I joined a bit late. I found the project a bit interesting and I have some questions, actually 2 or 3, I should say. So number one is when the judge is going to judge the project, how they will see climate resilience. It means I can see that this is near the sea, so there might be some storm, wind, or whatever. So is there any point related to climate resilience, or how should a student or a designer should consider the climate resilience thing of this project? This is one. Yeah.
May I answer that first?
Yeah, sure, please.
I'll get a question. Okay, so this is next to the sea, so obviously we get some strong winds. So obviously some massive awnings or cantilevered structure are not really ideal.
Okay, yeah.
So obviously the wind has to be taken in consideration.
Right, so I got my answer. The second question is, when I was listening to other people, it means in this conversation, I found that many of you are mentioning many times about the technology. So technology is fine, okay, and the thing is how what about the material use? Is there any suggestion or a limitation of doing using the material? What kind of material, or it should be from the local material? Because when you are talking about the sustainability, we can understand that the material should be from the local area, because that is one way to address the sustainability of the building material, right? So how you are looking into that?
Okay, so look, very good point. We would prefer if you would use local materials for all the reasons you just mentioned, and not just from environmental point of view, but also from aesthetics point of view. Those materials belong there. There's a lot of rock, which could be used from site, and so yeah, definitely yes. But we don't have to be limited and limited just to only local materials.
Okay. So my third question is, the project has a specific site, right? So is there any setback rules? It means we can build along with the edge of the site, or we need to free some space or something like this. Is there any setback consideration?
Yeah, there is actually quite a few setbacks, and it's all explained on site regulations plan.
Okay. So it's from there, right?
Next to the street, from the side, from the rear, and so on. Plus, there is a site coverage ratio as well, which is quite important.
Okay. That's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you. We have another question from Medina. Can you unmute yourself and come see us? Medina, do you hear us? Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Medina?
She is muted.
Yes, I know. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There you go. Wonderful.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I can't turn on the camera. I don't have it on my computer. I have one question. Maybe you already talked about it, but I missed it. So, do we have to follow the master plan you gave us, already. I mean, should we follow the layout on that master plan, or we can design it
Will answer.
on?
So again, the master plan is only for you to understand the scale of the project and get the feel for it, but you don't have to follow the shapes of the buildings. It's totally up to you what you will design. But you have to comply with the regulations. For example, the marina shape, could be anything. The hotel could be anything. Commercial center, the villas, everything could be something else as shown on the master plan. What you have to comply with and you have to look at is the zoning plan. You have to stick to that and to those rules. Other than that, you are free to design whatever you want.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Marina, for your question. And we have one more hand raised. That's Abraham. Can you unmute yourself and maybe start your video if possible?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Now we can see you too.
Okay, thank you. My question is related to what Mr. Martin just said, is related with the layouts for the zoning. So while we are free to play around with the layouts that we want, but for the plots that are allotted for the spaces, do we have to use the exact number of plots, or we can like reduce or increase the number of plots as we want based on how we want to design it?
Very good question. Very good question. What I'm trying to say here is that the boundaries between the plots are adjustable. So if you'll be able to design building which is narrower, as it is shown on the master plan, obviously you can shrink the side, from both sides. Okay. If you can feed, more units or less units, it's up to you. What you have to respect is actually the street setback, and the zone setback as well.
Okay.
But if you're able to feel like, I don't know, there's 17 units, green ones along the main road, if you are able to squeeze 20, up to you. If you will show us that it works, why not?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the questions. I think we have said a lot, and I think we are slowly going to close. Would there be any last words? I think, Martin, you have said a lot already, or David and Gordon, if there's anything else you would like to add to end the note, now is the time.
I think it was a lot of good points and questions. And from our side, it's just about the creativity and usable of the land and buildings. So we'll see.
We are excited for your work.
Really looking forward.
Perfect. Thank you. I see that Nina has raised a hand one more time. Maybe we have time for one last question and then we will slowly close. So Nina.
Yeah, sorry, just the last question for sure. So my team decided to take a few of the zones and work on a few of them for maybe 4 or 5 of the zones. So is there any problem with that, or do we have any restrictions about it, or are we free to choose whatever we want?
You are free to choose whatever you want. The only condition is you have to do at least one building from any zone. If you wish to do a few, up to you, or you can do the whole thing.
And as we decided to take a few of them, do we have to send it to you like separately or as a whole complex or something?
I think maybe that's a question for Kyle. Do you want to suggest if the students are working or a few of the zones, should they submit as separate projects or should they submit as one?
Yes, it's a good question, and the solution is up to you. You will have 2 possibilities to upload it as a one big concept, or you can do it separately, like 5, 6 different projects dedicated only to zones, because doesn't matter if you have entire concept or you are only focused on some zones, because we are going to select winners for each zone. So it means there will be the best design of villa, there will be best design of hotel, and a great idea of marina, and those will be the winners. Yeah, so it's up to you how you will present it the best way. From my point of view, I would recommend, in case you are focused on, for example, 4 zones, to make it as a separate projects. Yeah, to make it 4 projects. We will prepare the registration that you will choose which category you are choosing, and it's the best way. Yeah, so make it separate and make the, how to say, the design of the each building to shine. Yeah, to really prove their potential. So do it separately in case you are not doing all entire area. It's my recommendation.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Yes, I think that has answered the question. Okay. Great. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for being here, exhausting all of the questions and sharing the insights. There will be a replay of this on our website at the inspirally.com/news. You can always rewatch it, get your answers there. We are also updating the frequently asked question tab. With your questions, you can always send more questions. You will get them answered by us. You are sending all of this via that little template, or contact Jana, who is our admin and our main team, let's say, point of contact for the students. She's the Inspirally Awards manager. Feel free to contact her as well. And you have been watching the Inspirally live stream talk number 12 with the topic of the new competition, MIRIS Garden Edu Project Croatia. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your time, sharing your insights, asking the questions, being here on Zoom or watching us on the streams. And it's definitely time again to thank our partners, everybody who has been supporting us at Inspirally, because as you know, Inspirally is always free of charge. And it is possible because of the partners who are supporting us, who are supporting a competition that aims to promote young talents in architecture, regardless of their social, economic, or ethic conditions. So here goes a big thanks to the partners. And thank you for being part of this. Thank you for submitting. We are very excited. So I'll just repeat one more time. The competition only lasts the winter semester. It's only for a couple of months, and the deadline to submit is February 14th next year. And then all your designs will also be included in the big Inspirally Awards, the whole competition that lasts until the July. So we are definitely looking forward to seeing what you will come up with. Be bold, be courageous, show us what's coming from your background, inspire us, and teach us what's new in your territories. And thank you for being here again. And we hope to see you soon again. So have fun, everybody. I hope you like it. And thanks for being here. Bye.